Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday. I do apologize. I'm not live again this week. I'm going to be at the rehab center with my mom, so I decided to go ahead and make this video a little early. And today we're going to be sharing Elegant Sentiments weekly card share number 47. I'm Cheryl Abernathy. Thank you for stopping by. I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and today we are crafting with our wonderful Lisa Horton products. This day we're using the Buttercup Bloom embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and the coordinating stencils and dies for that folder. And we're going to use the A Little Hello sentiment set and the Nested Essential Heart Frame Rectangle dies. And for our colors today, we've got some of the matte blending inks. We've got eucalyptus leaves, garden sage, and antique pink. And we also have a teeny bit of flash paste that we've used on today's project. We used sapphire pearl and special crystal. So those are the products. And let me get this out of the way and I will show you the project that I will be making for you today. So this is it. It's on a 5x7 card, and let's go ahead and get started. I will pull in my Lisa Horton Ultimate tool, as I usually do when I'm doing ink blending and using her stencils. There are 6 stencils in this set, so it goes pretty quickly. And I've got paper. I think this is probably 5.5 by 6 or something like that. But it doesn't really matter the size of the paper that you use, because we're going to end up die cutting the image out once we get done with it, inking it up. So let's go ahead. I'm starting with the antique pink, and we'll do the flowers for this one. I like this stencil is really nice. I've done several different types of flowers with this stencil set, and it's one. Well, I say it all the time. It's one of my favorites. All of hers are my favorites. That's just the truth of it all. I hope you're having a good day. I certainly have. The day is really flying by. So I'm trying to finish up here at home and head on up to see Mom. She's coming along well, so thank you all for your prayers and well wishes. I really appreciate that, and so does she. So let's see, and then we'll fill in some of this with, and you can use add other colors to give more dimension to your flowers. For this, I didn't really do that. I just have a teeny bit of shading that really won't stay too long. Okay, so that is all we need for that stencil. Let me get my rag here, wipe off some of the ink, do a little bit of cleaning as I go. And oops, this is stencil number 2, adding even more color to our flowers. And then that lighter color that's underneath these little veins will be what pops through when we're finished and we're doing our die cutting. And embossing, actually. I said die cutting. I meant embossing, but this goes really quickly. when you're doing it this way. Takes a little more time, I guess, if you're changing up colors, but we're not doing that today. So that takes care of that. And see, we've got nice little definition there on our floral. And now we're going to add some leaves. And I've got two different colors of green for the leaves. I'm going to use the eucalyptus leaves for the eucalyptus leaves. Fancy that. And then I'm going to use garden sage for the other leaves. I did it the other way around on my sample, but we'll go ahead and do it this way for this. And I'm just putting it a little darker at the base and feathering it out. Really quick and easy. Grab a little more and go all the way up that center. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. Get the center of this leaf all the way up dark, a little darker than the rest of it. I probably could have switched to a smaller brush with this eucalyptus, but you don't have to. So we'll just go with it. Go with the flow. And we've got some eucalyptus over here. So we'll put that same color down over here. And then I bent my stencil, not paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm going to go this way to try and make up for that error that I made there with my stencil. But it still stencils the same, even though I kind of messed up a little bit there with not being as delicate as well, I don't have to be delicate. I wasn't paying any attention to what I was doing actually, and I just ended up bending it. But it's, you kind of have to work at it to do that. I was not paying attention. There's a price for that. So put a little, grab some of this color here. Get that deeper right in here. Come on, a teeny bit more here. Yeah. So that's it for the eucalyptus. And then I'm going to add some garden sage. I guess it'll sit on top of there. I love having my inks on my tacky mat because they just don't move. It's wonderful. And I really could have done all the inks in the same, or leaves in the same green, but I wanted to differentiate between the two different types of leaves, but it doesn't matter. You can do them however you like. A lot of times I'll use colors that aren't even green for leaves, just to mix things up sometimes. And this is such a fun one to do because it's a pretty simple design. So it's really easy to do. I tend to stop talking when I'm ink blending. So excuse me if I do that. I try to be aware of what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I'm really excited. Lisa has some new inks coming. They're limited edition inks. And there's a preview of them. I think she has it on her website. And you can pre-order starting tomorrow morning if you're in the UK. And here in the US, well, you can order them here too, but If you want the lower shipping, they're going to be, those limited edition inks are going to be available at Spellbinders, I think she said, and eventually scrapbook.com will have them too. But I'm telling you, you want to look out for them because they are limited edition. She's not going to have them back, and they're not, well, they aren't going to be back right away, maybe later. But they're, you know, it is, they're, she only has what she has. And so if you want it and you see them, you should go ahead and order them, because I'll tell you, they're beautiful. She's got some metallics and some new interference inks, I think, and some, maybe I'll put a little bit of eucalyptus on the tips of these garden sage. And she's got metallics. Oh my gosh, the metallics are beautiful. And there's I think holiday inks. I really can't remember, to be honest, but I know there's 9 of them and they are gorgeous. So let's see. I want to put a little tip off these leaves, put a little eucalyptus on the very tippy tips, just for something different. But yeah, so be looking for those. I think she said that they'll be mid-August is when she's expecting them to be here. They may get here sooner, so just be on the lookout for when they're available. I can't wait. I'm definitely planning to get them. And I'm looking forward. She's got a class that she's going to be teaching on August 10th. It's a Christmas product, so I'm excited about that. So too late to order the products for the class, but when they are available, you'll be able to get them. So isn't that pretty? I love these inks. They blend so nicely. And this is stencil number 4. I'm going to put that on and we'll go back to our antique pink for this. You could change again. You could change this color up as well. But I'm just using the same colors, just making them darker. So there we go. And I'm just going in completely. I didn't even tap off or anything. I'm just going for it. Really deep antique pink to be the center, and the little buds on the other flower. Technically, that's probably a different flower and should be another color, but that's the fun thing about coloring. You can make it however you like. These are just the colors that I chose. Okay, so that is that for stencil number 4. I love that look. And then we've got stencil number 5, adding a little detail to our leaves. And I'm just using whichever color was the original leaf. So some are going to be eucalyptus and some will be garden sage. So here we go with eucalyptus. Not a lot to do for this one either. Very, very quick. And you can make this as light or as dark as you want. I'm going a little on the darker side, I think, for these little accents. Okay, and then we'll add the garden sage. Put that in there. I anybody has suggestions, I'm looking for a light reflecting, light canceling cover for when I use my glass mat. It bothers me that I have this glare from my overhead light, but I need my overhead light, but the glare is a pain. I have a little mat that I use most of the time that will cut some of that glare, but I need something bigger. So if you have something that you're using that you think is great, just drop me a note in the comments and I'll check it out, because I really would like something like that. Okay, so there's that. Look at how pretty. And then the final stencil, adding some detail to some of the leaves. And again, let's see, I'll start with the garden sage since it's up here. I'm just putting more color and detail on these leaves. I'll tell you, all of Lisa's stencils are so well thought out. I love that, because it makes you look like an artist even when you're not, because she does all the work for you. So we're done with the garden sage on this one, and the only thing we have left to do is add the eucalyptus leaves. Easy peasy. So simple. All right, so there we go. And that is it for the stencils. How quick is that? Very good. And so the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to take this off of here, and I'm going to die cut it, and then I'm going to emboss it, and then I'm going to cut it. I know I hate to cut my images, but for this design we need to cut it. So I'm going to take the stencil now, and let's see, get this lined up, and I'm going to die cut it. I'm going to die cut it first and then emboss. So I'll get a couple pieces of tape here. Let's see, did it move? Nope, stayed pretty still. There's one piece, and we'll get another piece over here, and I'll be off camera for just a second so I can do my die cutting. Okay, so where's my little pokey thing? Here it is. Oops. So I just want to carefully lift off that tape. This is best ever craft tape that I'm using for this, but any washi or any low tack tape will fit the bill for this. You just don't want it to pull away your ink or your image. Well, there we go. Let's see. There. So there is our die cut piece. And then I'm going to mist the back of it. This I don't worry about smaller designs like this, but just to be safe, I'm going to mist it just a teeny bit so that the fibers don't crack when they go through the embossing folder. And then we'll line this up. Let's see here. I want to be careful not to have water on the front of the image because these inks do react with water, so you don't want to have your folder wet at all. So we are going to then line this up as best as we can get it, which is really pretty easy on this one. Actually, on most of them, they're pretty easy. Get that. And it takes me a little longer because it seems like I'll get one part where I think it should be, and then I'll move it just like that. And then, so I kind of try to keep my hand on, you know what I think I may do is just take a little piece of tape and put it on this bottom piece since there's so many little moving parts. Well, maybe I'm sticking to my finger and not to the folder. This is, trust me, this is very easy. I'm making it a lot more difficult than it is. Okay, is that, yeah, that's about where I want it. And then I'm looking at the veins on the leaves to make sure they're lining up where I want them. I think we're in pretty good shape. And then I'll take my finger out there and give it one more look, and it looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, off camera again for embossing. And let's see here. Okay. Take this. This is going to want to stick because it was damp, which is why I was hesitant to put that on here, but I think we'll be okay with getting that off of there. Let's go this way. Instead of trying to come from the front, let's peel from the back. And I think I've got it. By George, I think I have. Okay. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Get that out of the way. And there is our embossed image. I don't know if you can see the texture, but there's a lot of deep texture there. So what I want to do, I want two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'm going to cut right here like that. So I'll have a piece for the top and a piece for the bottom. So I'll just take my little paper snips here and cut right in between these two. And the embossing is so deep, it's very easy to cut it properly. And you won't have the white around this last petal, but that's okay because you you're going to be putting this down on a part of the card that's white. So there. Okay, so now we have two pieces, and I've already gone ahead and done some pre-work like I typically do. I have my 5x7 card here, and then I have the largest of the scalloped frames, what essential heart frame rectangle. So this is the largest, and then this is the middle size. Now on this middle size, this paper actually has, you can see it's got some shine to it. And what I did was I took, I mixed some of this sapphire pearl flash paste with water, and I brushed it over navy cardstock. This is the color of the cardstock that it started out. And then of course I did, I brushed that on. So that's how I got that color. And then, let's see, the other thing that I did was for the sentiment, I did the same thing, but I used special crystal flash paste. So I'll show you, because I got a little piece here. What I did, I just took a little bit of this special crystal flash paste and I put it down on my board, and then I wet it. I just spritzed some water on there, and my brush, move this out of the way. So I just spritzed some water, and then I just took my brush and just wet it. Just, I don't know, it made a little paint out of the paste, for lack of a better word. And once it's actually all mixed in, there won't be any lumps in there. And you see my brush is pretty full. And I did this, I used this color because I wanted some sparkle, but I wanted it not to be the same as the background of the blue. So that's why I used the special crystal. And this has a lot of sparkle in it. So this would be great for wintry scenes or anytime you want a lot of sparkle. And then I just brushed it on to my cardstock, and I let it dry, and then I die cut out the letters. So that's how you get that sparkly. So you can create your own shimmer paper with these flash pastes. There's so much you can do with these. I'm gonna wipe this up. I'll just use another rag here. And so that's the middle layer. This is what I did for the middle layer of this 3-layer sentiment. So I have the regular cardstock is one layer, and then I have the layer with the special crystal on it, and then white. So those are the 3 layers of the sentiment from the A Little Hello sentiment set. And then I used rose ink to stamp the sentiment. And I think I know I've shown this before, but I'll share it again. These sentiments are one single stamp, and it's got all of these sub-sentiments that coordinate with hello. So I did it one time and cut it out one time. And so with the sample card, I used hello, how are you? And for this card, I'll use hello, dear friend. So we've got all of our components together. The first thing I'm going to do is put this, let's get stuff out of the way here. And I'm going to put the first heart rectangle on. I've got some foam tape on the back already, and I'm just going to mount that onto the card base. And then I'm going to trim this up. I'll do that later. I'll just do it on the side. Okay. So there we go. And then let me put that on first, and then I'll put the parts on. Now, on my sample, what I did when I did that blue piece, I put tape on the back because I wanted to keep all those little hearts in place when I die cut it, and that worked out really well. I only ran it through one time. I didn't run it back, and that seemed to help those pieces stay in place because I wanted it solid. And this one, I said, well, I want to see what it looks like when the hearts are open, and decide which one. I think I may like the open hearts better, actually. So we're going to put some glue on this, or tape runner. That's what I'm using. But however you want to adhere it. But I think this will work just fine. And I want to make sure that's even and straight. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. All right. And then for the flowers, there's a little pokey part. Snip that off. Okay. And I just kind of angled it so that most of the flowers stayed on the card. And once I did that, I put glue down. I didn't worry too much about the ends. If they're the parts that are hanging off, that's fine. And these are ones I'll probably I think that's a pretty good spot there. And then I put this one. How did I know this one went this way? So I think I want to cut into this just a wee little bit to get rid of that pink part. Okay. And then here I played around with the sentiment a little bit. So do hello. And my dear friend. So that's about where that's going to go. Right about there. And it's okay if that hangs off just a little bit because it's still inside the card. So I think that's how I'm going to put this down. And you could, if you wanted, put this sentiment up on dimensionals. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll put that like that. And then we'll do the my dear friend. And I'm only going to glue one side of that. Just because. And if you wanted, if I was going to mail this, I'll stick a small piece of foam tape underneath this part. Up. Come on, get straight. There we go. And then we'll add this piece down here. And I want most of my glue on the top part of this piece. Yeah, let's see. How does that look? Right about there looks pretty good. And then we'll just fill in the insides. Oh, yeah, there we go. I did get some up there. Okay, so I want that to lay down. Okay. So then the last thing I did was added some pearls. And I used 3 different sizes of my pearls. I used the large one and the medium, or this size is what I had. So I had this size and this size and the baby. And then I did this size. And just kind of put them in however it works, because my flowers aren't in exactly the same space, and that's okay. So I'll do this one. I think I'll do this one here. And I'll do this one there. So there you go. That is today's project. I thank you so much for stopping by. Oops, I'll ink on my fingers and I inked up my sample. But thank you again. I hope that you liked today's project and that you'll give it a try yourself. If you do like the card, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate getting your feedback if you have it. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll be back next Thursday with another card to share. And until then, I live graciously and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.